So my name's Chad Harper. I'm a Sponsored Program Officer in the Office of Sponsored Programs. Say that 10 times fast. Currently, all the regional campuses are part of my constituency. So if you have any questions related to your sponsored program, or you want to begin the proposal process, you would contact me, and that includes Lima. Lima was originally going to Anna Shadley, who's currently on maternity leave, so you guys will be coming to me in her stead. With that said, if you've gone to those sites that Jeff just went over and found an opportunity you would like to apply for, at that point, you would want to contact me as soon as possible, ideally, to kind of give me a heads up that you would like to submit a proposal and kind of provide me with the request for proposal or RFP, and also let me know what the deadline is, so I know what's ahead of me. A lot of times these deadlines end up kind of stacking up on each other, so it's good to know when I'm going to have a long day. So contact me as soon as possible so we can start that process. Also, I'll be able to provide you with a lot of documentation as part of the proposal that they request, such as fringe rate, the fringe rate agreement, the F&A agreement, also any letters of support you need from the university. I can provide that as part of your proposal. The technical things, technical side of things will pretty much be on your side. I could read it. I may not necessarily understand it, but I can certainly read it and give you a layman's perspective on the technical portion. But primarily, I can provide a little bit of insight on the budget side. I kind of help you crunch the numbers, so to speak. I can assist you with the fringe rate, apply the fringe rate to salaries. I have access to salaries, so I can make sure those are included in the budget appropriately, and make sure that the budget's consistent with the RFP and also with university policies. Once we have both sides, the technical and the budget side of things all together, you're going to want to go and fill out one of these PA005s, what we call a PA005, which is a proposal approval form. Apparently there were maybe 5 forms before this, that's why it's PA005. But those were before me. So you'll go in the system, and what it'll ask for, what you need to fill in is, let me open one up here. Just general information related to your proposal. This is for Dr. Piscesi. Just general information for your proposal that need to be included so that your department is aware of what you're committing to, such as, how long is it going to be, how much is it going to be for, is there any cost share, how much of your effort are you actually applying to this award, and also includes the F&A rate for the award to let your department know how much indirects they may be getting in their future, in this case none. And it also has some details as far as human subjects, vertebrate animals, the things that are involved in your research that we may want to get some of the other departments in my building involved with to make sure that you're covered and the university is covered during the course of your research, and to make sure that everything is consistent throughout your project. Once you've submitted the PA005, it'll automatically go out to all of your department heads, all the department heads that are involved in that PA005. It could be not just your regional campus, it could also be your home department, or if you have any collaborators, it could be other departments that are also involved, and they'll also have to check off because they'll be involved as far as the F&A and effort and whatnot. So once that's been approved, I'll get an email telling me that we're good to go, and I'll submit the proposal on your behalf. If you'd like to submit it yourself and the sponsor is okay with that, you're more than welcome to do that. But most sponsors prefer if authorized representative of the university submits it. and I can function in that capacity, so I'll submit it on your behalf. A little note, because I also give a cost-sharing presentation, so I kind of feel obligated to bring some attention to it. When you're creating your proposal, oftentimes people like to add a little bit of cost-sharing as a little carrot for the sponsor to hopefully entice them to choose your particular proposal. But oftentimes it actually doesn't, they don't really give you any kind of advantage over anyone else, and you're committing real funds to those cost sharing. So if your project is awarded with that volunteered cost sharing, we are committed to providing it and tracking it, those real costs in the system. We have systems in place to do that, but if you don't, I would suggest that you don't go that route if you don't have to, let me put it that way. But if you do have to have required cost sharing as part of your proposal, we can more than take care of that and keep track of that for you. But I wouldn't volunteer it. So if you're fortunate enough to have your proposal funded, normally I'll get an email, or you'll get an email, and ideally contact me as soon as you're notified that they want to award you, they want to support your proposal. And then we'll begin the negotiation process with that sponsor. And I'll do that on your behalf because we have a lot of experience working with various sponsors. We have a kind of a rapport, and we have previous awards that we can kind of use to set the negotiation table up between us and the sponsor.
So yeah, Chad, this point is really important because particularly if you solicited funding from a private foundation, we've got a few private foundations that won't send a notice of award to the Office of Sponsored Programs. They send it directly to the investigator, sometimes accompanied by a very fat check. Do not put this check in your personal banking account. This is a bad, bad thing. And we actually have had investigators that said, oh, what a lovely check. I can put it in their personal banking account. This is, from a legal point of view, bad, bad, bad for you. So if you ever have a situation like that where you get an award or a big fat check in the mail, call Sponsored Programs and they will take care of it for you.
Thank you, Jan. Yeah, that's true. I'll get, sometimes there is no negotiation process. They'll just, like Jan said, they'll just send you a check and a letter along with it, and then we'll set you up in the system based off of that. The same thing with federal awards. We don't really negotiate with the government. They pretty much tell us what's going to be tied to your agreement, and we kind of go with it from there. So there's no negotiation with the federal government. But with some of the other ones, we will negotiate on your behalf and make sure everything's in place so you can move forward. Oftentimes, they don't fund the full proposal. And if that's the case, we need to take a look and see that you have enough funding to support your scope of work. And if it's not enough to support your scope of work, then we'll have to have a discussion as to how that difference is going to be made up, or what we can do to make sure that you can move forward with your project with the less funding. Once we have it set, once we have the negotiation completed, the award is signed, and it's ready to go, I'll set it up in the system, send you an email telling you that it's set up, there's a project, send you the project number, and also send you a link to the PI portal so that you can actually have access to it. Now, what you see up on the screen is the PI portal. If you haven't worked in it, it's very user-friendly. It's something that I believe is really useful, and I don't think a lot of universities have it. It's a tool that the PI can actually have access and get a real-time snapshot, a relatively real-time snapshot of where their project is over the course of the award. Just kind of give you an idea of the projects you have underneath this particular GRT, the funding, and if I go into this particular project, well, I'm not going to go into it, but it just gives you an idea of where your project is, and you're able to see all the expenses and all the effort and everything that's on the award, and kind of resolve any issues that may exist that we may need to resolve or anything in the future. Also, any requests to the sponsor that you need to put in, no cost extensions. If you want to buy another piece of equipment that wasn't on the original proposal that we need to get approval from the sponsor, that'll go through me also. Just send me an email and I'll negotiate with the sponsor on your behalf to try to get that request approved so you can move forward, yeah.
So does that tell you what you have left? If you have a grant that goes over a few years, we can go to that to find out where we stand?
Correct, yeah. It'll give you a pretty accurate snapshot of exactly where your spending is, and even future commitments as far as your effort. It applies it on there, so you can actually see how much you've already committed in the future as far as your effort, and even commitments to sub-awardees and other purchases that you're planning on making in the future. It'll kind of give you that idea. So it's a nice view. It kind of keeps you from going over or kind of tell you where you are.
It updates daily, right?
It does update daily. So if we set something up, in the system, I'll send you an email, you actually have to wait till the next day. Oftentimes the PI will just go straight to it. It won't be in there. It takes a day for the PeopleSoft to upload the information into it. Same thing with payroll and our procurement system. It takes a day. It's not instant, unfortunately, but it's still fairly up to date. So I can definitely help you with that. There's some other departments in our building that you may come into contact with during the course of your award. We have the billing office, the billing department that'll pretty much handle all the invoicing to the sponsor. They'll also handle any fiscal reporting to the sponsor that's required based on the agreement. They'll do that, and that's all kind of happening behind the scenes. You don't have to worry about that part of it. And that includes patent reports and also inventions. We'll submit all of that on your behalf to the sponsor. Again, the technical reports you guys will have to handle. We've got some really smart people in the building, but they're not ready to fill your technical reports out for you. And then when the award comes to a close, you'll probably get an email from me or whoever your SPO is at the time to find out, have all the deliverables been met? Is this project ready to be closed? Is there anything that needs to be done before we close it? Do you need a no-cost extension or whatnot? And we'll deal with that. If it's ready to be closed, then we'll let the fiscal officer upstairs know, and they'll close it for you. And that's pretty much it. So it's been really nice seeing all these faces and putting faces to voices that I've heard on the phone. And do not hesitate to contact me, and I'll hopefully be able to help you with whatever your request is or point you in the right direction. Thank you very much.